Someone recently asked me on Twitter about fighting a trend, and they also asked me in a different post about what appeared to be fighting a trend on a trade that I took, which from my perspective was not fighting a trend. Okay? So I want to talk about how to responsibly and in a fundamentally solid way fight a trend. Okay? We should know that most every trade we take, unless it's just an extreme breakout trade, is fading a move on some time frame. Okay? We may have a strong trend on the daily time frame, but then we have some type of nice pullback on a 5-minute chart and we're looking to get long, fading that 5-minute move down to get us back in line with a great uptrend on a higher time frame. That is the nuts and bolts of fading a trend responsibly and in a great way, in a way that's going to give you a much better edge than if you're constantly trying to buy new highs. That's a difficult way to live. Fading a trend in a very, very bad way, it's all about context, okay? Fading a trend in a good way is all about context too, but let's talk about the bad way. We've recently had a couple strong trend days in the S&P 500, okay? I know a couple people that have gotten paper cut to death fighting the trend on the way. You have to understand when a market breaks out of a consolidation area, okay? When it breaks outside of, say, the prior 3 days range, you had a cluster of 3 days that were trading very tightly, and then now all of a sudden we're breaking above or breaking down below that area. That's when you want to respect that trend, respect the breakout on the higher time frame, and don't try and, on a breakdown out of a 3-day balance area, don't try and buy every dip along the way. You're going to get crushed, okay? Now, we can use context to, again, do it in a responsible way. We see that yesterday we broke above a 3-day balance area, and then overnight coming into today, we see that we've actually been in a downtrend, but that downtrend is actually pulling back to retest the upper end of that breakout area. That's a good place to put some risk on long to fade the most recent downtrend move, and we're doing so in a responsible way where we have clearly defined risk, and the overall trade thesis is really, really well defined in terms of pulling back after a bigger picture breakout. So fading a trend is a very relative term. There's good ways to do it and there's very bad ways to do it, and context is the answer. What's going on in the higher time frame? That's really going to help you put yourself in a good position.